Hey there, Capricorn. Welcome to your reading for the for middle of May 2025. You have this parrot spirit says watch your words. You have the scarab beetle spirit says magic works through you. I feel like you need to believe that you can create magic in life, that you can do hard things and overcomplicate things. That's not what I wanted to say, Capricorn. What I wanted to say is that you can accomplish things, but it came out as overcomplicate things. So maybe you are overcomplicating something or making something that would be magical a little bit too hard on yourself. And so I would definitely get away from overcomplication. It's funny that I said that. I don't even know how that happened, but it's like my mouth just wanted to say other words. So I feel like you can accomplish things, but definitely don't overcomplicate things just in general. You have the Queen of Wands, the Four of Cups, and the Ten of Cups. This could really say that you just need to speak of your Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups is anything that will bring you happiness, joy, celebration, pretty much anything. And I feel you need to speak as if you already have whatever it is that the Ten of Cups is for you. It doesn't have to be love. It could be just a dream. Those people, those 10 cups exist above their heads, and so they're dreaming of a better life or something better. They're standing in the real world. That's the whole point of this card, is that they're in the real world. They still have to deal with all the real world issues, problems, challenges, and they just have to deal with the real world in general. But they are choosing to be happy by focusing on their, higher vision or their dream, and I definitely feel like you have to do that. I feel like you are being pulled. I said this in your last reading. I'm pretty sure that I said this in your last reading, that it's almost like something is pulling you or something is tugging on you. Something is like trying to get your attention here. And I feel like you need to pay attention to that. She has this sunflower, and the sunflower points towards the sun, which is like her joy, her happiness, something that brings her peace. And, this could be anything. It's probably something you're working on. You have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles, like juggling, spinning plates, having too much going on. But at the same time, sometimes I do like the Two of Pentacles, even though it can be a little bit of a card of doing too much sometimes. Sometimes I do feel that it's like, yeah, you could be doing too much, but at the same time, it looks to me like you're finding success. So is it really that big of a deal? Probably not. But I feel like you need to move towards like your joy or your something that feels right. And, maybe that's a challenge. I don't know. But maybe that's a challenge for Capricorn of like trusting those feelings. You have the Four of Cups. I kind of feel like you're afraid of being disappointed. He has these 3 cups in front of him, and he's being given this new opportunity, but he's been disappointed 3 times before. So it's like he's had a dream with the Ten of Cups. This is a card of thinking the grass is greener on the other side, right? So it's like he gets excited about something new entering into his life, and then he gets disappointed. But the trick with the Four Cups is to realize that these 3 cups have taught you something, and you need to apply what you learned to this new situation. If you do that, then things will go much better for you. So you have to apply the lessons, all the spiritual lessons, all the other things to this new opportunity. And if you do that, it will be good. It will be probably part of your dream. So I kind of get this like fear of disappointment. It's like if you do something too many times and it doesn't work, then you actually just never get started. I've been there. I always say I had a successful business when I was younger, and it basically failed. And for years after, I tried to start new things. But, I got to this point where nothing was working ever, period. And so then what happened is I started like thinking of ideas, but then instead of getting started, I would just think of all the ideas as to like why it wouldn't work. And I would just never get started. And I would convince myself that nothing would work because I'd like experienced failure too many times. And I kind of feel that with the Four Cups. This could be in any area of your life. I kind of do get like love and business in this reading, or money. So it could be in any area of your life. But, I feel like you need to look at the lessons you learned, because, that's where the success will come from. And that's what will lead to the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is fortune after difficulty. So a lot of you have the opportunity to get into that space, but, I feel like you have to apply the lessons and kind of get started. So let's see. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Temperance card. I kind of feel like this is what you've been waiting for. The Temperance card is a card of patience, but, it kind of is saying to me that you've been waiting for something. And now, the thing about the Temperance card is he's trying to perfect his situation. This right here is the path to glory, and he could easily just get up off onto that path, and he could go get this crown. But it's like he's trying to make something perfect. So sometimes, not always, but sometimes I feel that the Temperance card is saying that you just need to get onto that path. There's nothing more for you to perfect. There's nothing more for you to do, other than get started. This is also a card of alchemy, being able to turn one thing into another. So again, being able to turn your lessons into success is really what that would say. With the Four of Cups, you have the Tower. Yes, too many Tower moments in the past probably is what I feel here. Now, the Tower is about reality. And so I think that there are some realities that you need to face, right? And with the Tower card, and these are probably based off of lessons that you've learned, and that's what I would do with this card is I would accept reality. It's like I'll tell you, I'll bare my soul to you here, Capricorn. So during that time, right, I remember this clearly. After my first business was like a couple years later, and I worked on this project for like I came up with an idea, right, and I worked on a project for months, and I came up with this idea of how I thought I was going to get the project to be successful. So I started contacting people in the industry that I was in, and I was like, this is the best idea I've ever had. This is going to work so well, and no one responded to me, right, with a project that I poured my heart and soul into for like months. I was working on it like 24/7, right? And I remember that after no one contacted me, I got in my car and I drove around and I just screamed, right? That's all I could do is drive around and scream, just yell, because I thought this was going to be a thing that was going to be super successful. I can laugh looking back on it right now, Capricorn, but at the time I was not very happy about it. But looking back on it as well, number one, it taught me a lot. Number two, there were like a lot of things that I missed. There were like a lot of things that I didn't do right with it in the first place, right? So, the lessons were very valuable. The reality, there was a shock to the system, but the reality was very important. So, I kind of feel like this is about like accepting some sort of reality. With the Ten of Cups, you have the Queen of Wands. Again, yeah, definitely time to make your move. Be bold, be assertive, go for what you want. It's like you're going back and forth, but you will be successful. So I think it's time. I think the Tower moment, like I said, is probably something that happened in the past. Or, maybe these 3 cups are 3 Tower moments that are preventing you from moving forward and preventing you from doing something that you want. But, I kind of feel that you're past it and you just need to apply those lessons that you learned. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Satyr card. It says Revelry, I can't say that word, and Indulgence. You have the Spirit card. It says Unseen Forces, watch over you. So I would be careful of, I feel like you need to party. Actually, Capricorn, is really the feeling I get. There's like too much work. You're, typical Capricorn, right? It's almost like there's too much going on in this row. And so I feel for some of you, maybe you do need to step back from something and just kind of like think, or I don't know, get better ideas or something like that. So maybe you do need to indulge a little bit. Again, you're going to have to be honest with yourself on this one right here, because it's like if all you've been doing is working, then I definitely feel you need more play. If all you've been doing is playing, then you definitely probably need more work. But again, you're going to have to be honest with yourself with those cards. You have the 5 of Swords, 2 of Pentacles, and 7 of Swords. I don't know, like, I feel like something seems too good to be true, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like maybe at the beginning of the month or something, I feel like I said something like this that was very similar to you, where it's like you have the 5 of Swords. 5 of Swords can be walking away from something, winning at all cost, cutting your losses, things like that. But I kind of feel it's more like a risk that you're thinking about taking, Capricorn. But it almost just, if the way I read is I put myself in your shoes. And I feel like some of you are wondering if something is actually as it appears. You know how your rear view mirror, it says objects in the mirror may appear closer than they seem, right? Is that it? I don't know. But whatever your rear view mirror says, or your side mirrors, they say objects in the mirror may be closer than they appear or whatever. It's kind of like that's what's popping into my head with this 5 of Swords. You're like, is this actually something that's like real? Is it fake? Is it fantasy? What is it? And I feel like you're trying to decide whether or not you should take the risk. You have the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is work hard, play hard. Like I said, with that revelry and indulgence card, I think if you need to look at what you're doing. If you're not playing and all you're doing is being serious and working, then, I think you need more play. If all you're doing is playing, then you probably need the opposite. So I would just pay attention to those energies with the Two of Pentacles. Next, you have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords can be lying, cheating, stealing, but Seven of Swords can also, really is a good card. It is a card of tactics. It is a card where he is sneaking away from this army in the background. He's going to war, but in a different way. So if you're trying to do anything in your life at all, period, then I would make sure that you are looking at the best approach, or, don't be afraid of taking like an unconventional approach towards something. And, I think if you do that, you'll be successful. I definitely feel like some of you could have been cheated on, for sure, with that Tower and the Four of Cups. Like, it's like maybe you got cheated on multiple times, or, whatever the case may be. And the Seven of Swords can, say that, yeah, it happened, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen again. And now, again, Four of Cups is about needing to realize that you have learned the lesson. You know what to look out for now. So just pay attention, and you will be fine if you pay attention. With the Five of Swords, you have the Ace of Pentacles. Yes, there's like a big opportunity coming in for you or something. It's not too good to be true. I want to say that. But I think you are thinking it's too good to be true. Or like you're just asking yourself, is it true? I don't know. So this feels like an idea to me. I'm telling you right now, Capricorn, it's like, I know what this is. I think that you might have an idea that's very unique right now. Like maybe it's something that no one has ever done before, or maybe it's just like a different approach to something. And that could be making you kind of hesitate on getting started on whatever this idea is. If you don't get started, you're not going to have the victory right here with that Six of Wands. So I feel like this is really encouraging the victory because you will have success. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Ten of Swords. Yeah, it's like you have to release this right here, whatever's going on here. Ten of Swords is actually a blessing in disguise. Ten of Swords can kind of, he's been stabbed in the back, but he's making this symbol with his hand right here, and that symbol represents a blessing. And, the Ten of Swords can say you are now seeing that something that happened in the past is a blessing in disguise. And I feel like that's what you need to realize is like whatever's coming in here for you is actually a blessing. It's not, it's not going to be like the past. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Empress. So there we go. Empress and the Emperor. You could be attracting a divine counterpart if you want love. This could be like a gift to you, like kind of from the universe. So, maybe you've had a bunch of crappy relationships and, this could be a really good one coming in for you after a difficult period of time. Especially with divine counterparts here. It's like, why do I feel like this is two hermits? I feel like this is two people who are just hermit people. I don't know. That's what I feel here, Capricorn. It's like two people that just want to stay home, which is probably the problem, which is probably why you haven't met this person, because you both just live in a cave or something. I don't know. There you go. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this card. It says, nurture all that you love. Take time to care for your well-being and nurture the things you love. Yes, Empress is all about nurturing. You have this web of creation. It says, be aware of what you're weaving in your life to create better experiences. You started with that card that said, watch your words. And spiders can also represent, spinning a web, right? Which is like telling a story. So I think that you need to be very careful of the story that you are telling yourself. And I feel you need to tell yourself the story of the Ten of Cups, which is, fortune after difficulty, happy home, happy family, good things happening after a difficult period of time, all that other good stuff. I would make sure that you nurture that story. And if you do that, then things will go very well. You have the Six of Wands, the Emperor, and the King of Cups. The Six of Wands is like a victory or a success. So I do feel that there is a big success that could be coming in for you. But I feel like you have to take the risk on that Ace of Pentacles there and, kind of create something, especially if it's something unique, Capricorn, is what I'm getting. I think that, Capricorn is very good at, like if someone gives you an idea for something and says this is how to do it, it's like Capricorn is very good at following those instructions and getting things done, right? And so Capricorn, that's partly what makes you very successful, or can make you very successful. But I feel there could be something where it's almost like there are no instructions. You're having to kind of put this idea together on your own with that Ace of Pentacles. But again, if you do it, I feel like you will be very successful. You have the Emperor. The Emperor is about taking control. Every single person except for one sign. I'm over halfway done with this set of readings, and everybody's had the Emperor. I think we are in a time where we really have to take control. Neptune in Aries. Saturn will be moving into Aries. A bunch of planets will be moving into Aries. So, that Aries energy could be really asking everyone to make sure they take real hard control over what they're doing. You've also been getting the Emperor with me a lot here, Capricorn, and I've been saying to you that the Emperor kind of is Capricorn energy, even though he's Aries. He has his armor on underneath his cloak. Capricorn, as I always say, long story short, Capricorn in Vedic astrology was the crocodile, and so crocodiles are sit-and-wait predators. He is sitting and waiting for an opportunity. That's why he has his armor on underneath his cloak. When the opportunity presents itself, he's going to slam his jaws shut on that opportunity. Here's the opportunity right here with the Emperor. And then if you take advantage of it, you will have a celebration in the future with the Three of Cups. So there you go. You have the King of Cups. Definitely could be attracting a King of Cups into your life. Could be a water sign. Doesn't have to be. Could be any sign. And, the King of Cups is someone who's very emotionally stable. I look at tarot as a spectrum. That's why I don't read reversals. I read energy. And so on the positive side of things, the Ten of Cups would be someone who almost comes off as having no emotion, but it's not that they don't have emotion. They just know how to work with it and deal with it and all that other stuff. And, I think that the King of Cups type people can almost be a little bit off-putting at first because they are so direct. Like sometimes when someone is too direct, it's like you almost don't believe it, right? Because you're like, this doesn't exist. People who speak plain don't exist anymore. But, again, really, it could be a person where it's like, if they tell you something, they mean it. Plain and simple. So I feel like you could be attracting a person like that. Again, it could be any sign. You have Scorpio here. You have fire showing up here as well. Also, Virgo and Taurus show up here. So again, it could be any sign that's coming in for you, but definitely would be someone who's very stable. I think that on a personal level, this would also be good for you to stabilize your own emotions, Capricorn. And if you do that, then things will go well. Here you go. With the Six of Wands, you show up. So that is literally saying that you will have a victory, excuse me, if you accept this opportunity. The Devil is Capricorn. I don't really feel anything bad about the Devil. The one thing I will say, though, Capricorn, is I don't like the Devil with the Seven of Swords in a reading and the Ten of Swords and the Tower. So, we have all this mess right here. And so I would be careful of a past person coming back for sure. You don't have any cards that really say that, but you kind of have like a theme that's coming up in this reading that could. So I would be careful of past people. New people. With the Emperor, you have the Lovers. This is like a new person. It's like someone, I feel here that this is like someone who's coming out of hiding or something. Or maybe the two of you are like finally coming out of hibernation, or you're like both coming out of the cave, right? And so definitely could be new love coming in for those of you that want it. I would be careful of old love for sure. With the King of Cups, you have the Seven of Cups. Maybe this is a person that you think is too good to be true. I literally said that. That King of Cups people, they can be a little bit off-putting. I'm not talking about super weird. I'm just saying sometimes you could be like, is this person are they really serious about the things that they say? Or it's like, sometimes it's like if you meet a super direct person, it's like sometimes it just goes over your head because you're like, your brain just doesn't register it. But I think not. I think this person could be real. So it could be a very direct person or a person that's real. You always get the Seven of Cups with me. You and Aquarius, for whatever reason. And I'll tell you what, if you have Aquarius in your chart somewhere, which obviously you do, but everybody does. But I'm saying if you have major placements in Aquarius, then I would definitely say what I'm about to say is very true for you. I think that you need to find out how something is going to go. You have that Ace of Pentacles with the Emperor. It's like you really need to take advantage of an opportunity instead of just imagining it. Remember what I said about imagination with the Ten of Cups? Ten of Cups is good, but they need to take their imagination down to earth. So you need to make something happen. Next, in the area of the good stuff, here you go. You have this love card, which I think you had this card with me in the last reading, and you also have this slow it down card as well. So yeah, there's no rush. Take your time, but definitely could be love. Even if you don't want love, this will be something that you do love. And even if you do want love, I feel that, this reading isn't only talking about love. It's also talking about a big opportunity. And so I think you will love this opportunity as well. And that's really what I'm getting. You have the Hermit, the Eight of Swords, and the Three of Wands, Three of Cups. I know what this is right here. I think you need to speak more confidently about something. It's just looking at everything here in this reading. You have that Watch Your Words card. You have some other cards that are showing up here that have to do with appearance, how you appear to the world. The Hermit is keeping this star hidden in his lantern. He's not really shining it out all over the place. It's kind of funny because I've been working with my top secret group of guinea pigs recently, and I've been looking at a lot of work that people have been doing in my top secret group. And it's I've noticed a lot of what I would call apology language, and I don't know if that's the right word, where it's almost I know that the person knows what they're talking about, but they will almost apologize for what they're saying instead of claiming it, instead of being I'm the best, I know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's kind of what I feel with this Hermit energy is it would be 10 times better for you, 100 times better, 1,000 times better for you to be irrationally self-confident with the Hermit. And trust me, yes, when you do this, the haters are going to come out of the woodwork, but who cares, right? Just ignore it. But I think you need to be irrationally self-confident at this time. And especially if you're starting a business or, trying to get a raise or a promotion, you need to claim it and not apologize for it. And you need to be no, I am the best for what XYZ, whatever this thing is. And that's really what I feel on that Hermit. You have the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction, but showing up in the good stuff, it would kind of say that you are setting yourself free or you're finally moving forward. So I love to see the Eight of Swords in the good stuff because it's you are getting unstuck, probably in love for some of you. If you have been stuck in love or if you've been experiencing something more than once right here that you have learned lessons from, it's you are setting yourself free from that love lesson. You have the Three of Cups. Three of Cups is a celebration. So these three ladies are celebrating a harvest that is going on around them. And you definitely could be celebrating some sort of harvest in your life, or you could be celebrating a harvest that's going on around you. And yeah, I feel that will be good. This could also be a reunion. And so, this could be a past life person that's coming in for you. I kind of also just feel that if you are meeting a person, I think that it's one of those connections where, I feel there is no awkwardness. There might be some over-the-head moments, like I said, with the King of Cups, but it just feels to me it's this person, there's no beginner awkwardness. This person isn't going to sit down on a first date and be talking about the frickin' weather like most people do, right? It's boring, right? How about we talk about something more interesting, right? Are you into werewolves or vampires? Which is better? Have you ever seen Bigfoot, right? This is what we should be talking about on dates. No one wants to talk about weather. No one wants to talk about your mom, right? Or anything else. So I think this is has a much nicer flow, right? It's much more exciting. With the Hermit, you have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands is conflict or competition, but this could be what's holding back. This is showing up in the good stuff, Capricorn, but I kind of feel that with the Hermit. I was saying this at the beginning of the reading. It's almost some of you have an idea that isn't proven, and you can't prove that it will work. And maybe there's competition that you're trying to overcome and you're trying to stand out and all this other stuff. But I feel you need to, it's you will, but you won't if you don't do anything. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Seven of Swords. Again, also good because we have the Seven of Swords over here. So this could say that you are overcoming some sort of stuck energy, like we already said, because the Seven of Swords kind of is the solution to the Eight of Swords. He is doing something, but in a different way, right? In the Eight of Swords, she's only focusing on one solution. The Seven of Swords, the guy on the card is open to all solutions. So you could be opening up to better solutions. Here we go with the Three of Cups. You have the Four of Cups, which again is kind of like showing up here. So you could be overcoming that Four of Cups energy of, not knowing what to do, or, thinking like being worried about committing to something is kind of popping into my head. And it's almost like you're just kind of getting over it. And I think that would be good. You have this drama card. I would be careful of a past person coming in and creating drama. Again, I don't really see this, but I kind of do. Like, I can see how Four of Cups, Tower, Ten of Swords, Devil, Seven of Swords. It's almost like someone has regrets, or a past person could have regrets, Capricorn. So, I would be careful of someone just coming in trying to create drama. It's almost like I get this energy of a person who's like just trying to piss you off. Because if you get pissed off, then it's going to tell them that you still care. So I would just ignore it if you hear from a past person, or if a person is trying to piss you off, I would just ignore it. Yes, you have this manipulation card. Now, this is a good card, but I was literally just talking about manipulation, so I would be careful of that. On the positive side of things, I would be using energy and manipulating the energy to create what you want. So this is about working with energy and for like law of attraction purposes, and so I would definitely do that. Next, you have this defense card. I feel like you need to put up boundaries for sure, especially with any past people, and that's pretty much all I get there. You have this domination card. You will be dominating, yes. Like, how many times in the past 2 years have I said that Capricorn is either needs to come out on top or is coming out on top? But if you don't do anything, you're not. Hermit, he's on top. Five of Wands, competition. It's like you need to realize that if you put your unique ideas out there, you will be dominating. You will come out on top. And that's what you need to see. You have this impulsiveness card. I don't know. Like, I feel like if you want love, by the way, this could be like a drunk text message or something. For some of you, I feel like this is good. It's like if someone could finally be getting the balls to like contact you or something here, Capricorn. It could also be you. You could finally be getting the balls to do it. People love when I say that. So, there you go. But I feel like it could be a good thing. This is a pretty interesting reading. I like it, Capricorn. I feel like you could be coming out on top as well. So that looks good. But thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your month.